Thanks for listening to this episode of Choose and Face Wrestling Podcast. On today's episode, we have a very special guest. We're going to be talking about AAW. That's right, not AEW, AAW. Those two names are similar, but recently went to the JLMT 2021. It's
Don't
probably
forget the T.
Don't forget the T. Got to have the T at the end of that abbreviation. It's probably an event that Chris and I get up for every year. It's one of probably our favorite AAW events. I was at night 2 of that, but Chris, let's first check in on how you doing, man. Busy week of family stuff, I hear.
Busy week, yeah. Here with the family, kids are somewhat under the weather, getting through that. And I was actually under the weather last week, so I wasn't able to join you in your episode with Escalera. So bummer on that, but it was a great episode. If you haven't listened to it, I listened to it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, but I'm glad to be back. I'm here and glad to have I guess that we sort of like had talked about, like, hey, eventually at some point, he has to join us, or hopefully he would want to join us.
Yeah.
It just took 4 years, but he's here.
Exactly. Well, I'd like to welcome on Danny Daniels, Choose on the Face. Danny, how you doing?
Good, guys. How you doing? Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, we're doing great. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being open to it. If in case you don't know, you probably do know if you're a fan of AEW. Danny Daniels owns and runs the promotion. Used to wrestle, has wrestled for this company, and now he's running the show along with our friend producer Trent Zuberi, who helped kind of set up this engagement today. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the JLMT, the Windy City Classic, get you hyped for the Windy City Classic.
I want to touch on the history of the Windy City Classic.
Ooh, yeah. There's this agenda full of facts that I didn't even know. Your name is on here. I saw you in an I Quit match, I think, with Tyler Black. I don't know if I don't think we're gonna go that deep, but that's on the agenda. It's somewhere.
I got a little carried away when I was looking into the history of the Windy City Classic. I got carried away and just kind of started jotting a few notes here and there, but we'll touch on a few things.
Definitely. Danny, one of the first things I noticed at the new was the new banners up there. Is that kind of like, I noticed there was, like, because you had the original banners. I kind of always felt like that was your Hall of Fame, and now there's even some newer ones with some new people who are still kind of current wrestlers. Is that kind of your Hall of Fame or your Hall of Champions up there?
Well, I give credit to all that to my partner Mike Pekovich. He gets all the banners made. He updates all of them. As far as the talent goes up there, yeah, it's just, I don't know about Hall of Fame, just people that really contributed to the promotion, our longevity, just the success that we've had for 15 years now or more. 15 years there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a Phoenix banner. There's a Penta banner. I
saw that.
Well, I mean, those two guys right there, those guys just really boomed business for us when they got let go. I mean, they told me specifically when they were under AAA contract and they hated being under AAA contract. They're like, we will leave if you can guarantee us a certain amount of dates. And I gave them 20 dates for the following year, and they were great. And they really kickstarted business for AAW in a major way. We went from filling the Berwyn Eagles Club from 400 to drawing 800 to 900 quite a few times at Bourbon Street, which was, kudos to them. Kudos to obviously others on the roster, but it was a great time.
They were part of that era, and I think you even did at one point like 3 shows back to back at Logan Square. I think around that time.
Maybe 3 days in a row. No, we've only done 2 at the most.
Okay. Still a very lucrative time, and it was surreal. I remember that era. That's an era of AAW I'll never forget. I feel like you guys are in a new era now, and we'll talk about some of the new faces that have shown up. Yeah. I'll never forget that era though of AAW, where it was like I went from watching Penta on Netflix on Lucha Underground, and then like 2 months later he's at the Bourbon Street. I was like, wait, I just watched these guys wrestle on Netflix. So that was just like a pretty surreal era for you.
They were amazing, and that time was very stressful because we had 15 to 20 fly-ins every show.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous. It was a lot of cancellations, canceled flights, whatever it may be, but a lot of star power, a lot of just guys that you look back then, or you'll watch Monday Night Raw or SmackDown or AEW, and literally so many of those guys have walked through our doors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember we would talk to the best season in the world in the upstairs of the Berwyn Eagles Club. We interviewed them. This was like a couple years ago. That
was a long time ago. We haven't been there. Well, when we went back, we weren't there for 4 years prior to that.
Right.
Okay. So this might've been, 4 years ago. And they were like, we're looking at this show poster and they're like, we're the only people that aren't fly-ins on the show post, but like they obviously have earned their spot. And then we're going to touch on the besties heavily.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In the rest of this interview, but I just that comment stuck out to me. Which is cool. So one of those people up on the banners, right, is Mr. Silas Young. Are you glad to see him back? I felt like it was a breath of fresh air seeing him back.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't downplay the importance that he was for AAW. In 2010, we lost Tyler Black, and Tyler Black, to those that don't know, is Seth Rollins.
Right.
Now, Seth Rollins and the old guys, Merrick Brave and Shane Hollister, those were my students back in the day. I trained all of them, and that's what AAW was based on, a place for my students to get work. Well, Tyler was our main guy, and when he left in 2010, there was a huge void left of a top guy, and Silas took that ball and ran with it, and he did a great job. He was the backbone of the company for many years, many years. And again, he was another guy that's been gone for 4.5 years. So it was great to get him back.
Yeah, it was refreshing just to hear. I love his prom. I just love his gimmick. It was just refreshing to be feeling like I was talked down to by a dad again.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, man, he's fired up. He's fired up. He's felt like he just wasn't given the opportunities in the past couple of years to really showcase what he's got, and he's ready to go, man. And he had a hell of an opponent, because if you ever watch Fred Yehai, that guy is a damn machine, and it takes a lot to keep up with him.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then a lot of new, I'm going to ask a question and I'll throw it over to Chris for one. A lot of newer faces coming. So you guys have been, and for some time now, I think you guys have been building new stars up.
You have to, especially after the COVID era. And honestly, after AEW came into play, we lost so many guys in the spring of 2019.
Okay.
And going through the fall, where a lot of the guys just stopped taking dates because they were under contract, rightfully so. They didn't want to get hurt, and it even happens to this day.
Yeah,
it's very hard to get these guys on your show because either they do get hurt or they don't want to get hurt. I don't blame them. But 2019, we really had to focus on building the next group of headliners for AAW. And when COVID hits, oh my God, we're still recovering from that. It's not back to normal, but again, we're trying to rebuild, and it definitely is a rebuilding era.
Right.
But it's exciting. You got a bunch of young guys that are ready to kick ass and just put it all on the line, and we're watching them grow.
Yeah, absolutely. So some of those guys, I feel like there are some guys in there that look, they look like they could fit. And like when I think of like people who have been main eventers, I feel like there's been some bigger guys and they have a presence to them. I feel like guys like Shaft, Russ Jones, those guys feel like they could climb that ladder. Some of the newer guys you're trying to build. The answer could be one of those guys, or who over that JLMT weekend, like what newcomers kind of impress you? I wouldn't say not newcomers, but newer comers, so to speak.
You mean younger guys or guys that are new to AAW?
I would say both. Like
both, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hammerstone, he's going to be on a bunch of dates.
Okay.
So that was his debut. But younger guys, Ren Jones is coming into his own. He's a hell of a character, great presence. Jossie had a hell of a match with ACH. He really needed that match. He's a young kid that you're not going to get better by working guys that are at your level. You only get better working guys that are better than you, that can teach you. And he really needed that match under his belt. You know, and there's many young guys too. Like, even though Manders has been around for a little bit in AAW, he's still a young guy, and he still needs that to have those solid matches to grow. Ace Perry, another one.
Yeah.
You know, it was Lee Moriarty's first time, but he did great. But again, he's an AEW talent that's going to be very hard to lock down for bookings moving forward.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the risk that you run, right? Whenever you're kind of building up some talent, they can go, but you also like what's really cool that I've seen over the years is how, not how quickly, but, and this is something we also touch with Trent, the backstory that you give the characters, the production value behind, you know, promoting these events and continuing those storylines is what allows you to kind of like, okay, well, somebody's gone, let's, you know, we have somebody else in line.
Guys, that's what wrestling is. Wrestling isn't just the indies have turned, and we fell in that rut for a while, believe me, but we always tried to have a little story. But just going out there and throwing 8 to 9 matches out there randomly, just bringing guys in and going, hey, here's a card of 8 to 9 matches, to me, that's not wrestling. That's not what hooked me as a kid. That's not what kept me as a fan, as an adult. You know, you want to watch, you know, you want to follow that story. You want to see where that character goes, his ups and downs, who's going to get in his way. Can he get that title? Can he beat his adversary? I mean, that's what wrestling is all about. It's about telling that story, hearing that promos, watching them fight in the ring.
Yeah.
It's a movie, guys. It's a movie. I mean, look at your action movies. You can't just watch an action movie of 2 hours of just fucking, I'm sorry about my language, blowing things up, you know, blowing things up. That gets boring after a while. Or like characters just in and out. You know, you want to follow that guy. You want to follow that girl wherever their story is going. You know, that's what wrestling's all about. That's what we try to do, is be different through stories and promos and character buildup. And when one guy leaves or girl leaves, hopefully we have another one built up that can take their place.
Yeah, that's very well said. I mean, it's in our Twitter profile. We embrace being different. So I think that's a good motto to live by. Try new things.
Along the lines of being different, one of the different things that we saw this, you know, last run of shows that you guys had is that you had this show that felt like it was a dedicated women's show. Like it was all pretty much all female talent, except with a few matches. It's something that I at least I don't think I've, during my time as a fan with AAW, is something that I've seen. What prompted this change, this trial? I don't know if it's something that we're gonna keep seeing.
You know, I would say it was half women and half men matches, because we still had Fred Yehi defending his belt, and we still had Russ Jones in a match, and Ren. But we've tried to feature a lot of women on our shows lately. We have the title. There's a lot of great female talents out there. And when we booked this men's tournament, I felt, well, we've done very well with our women's division. I don't want to just, and that's part of what AAW is now. It's men and women. I don't want to just run a weekend, a showcase weekend, and not feature our women's title or women's rivalries, whatever they may be.
Right.
And I felt, you know, we got the afternoon, the ring's already set up, the building's paid for. Let's showcase a couple of great talents on it.
Yeah. Do you think that'll be it felt like the card felt like more of an emphasis on female talent, just in terms of the overall card. I think you could just it like came up a couple more times. Do you think that'll be an emphasis moving forward in 2022?
As far as all women shows?
No, I would say all women, but probably, and I know you got 2 at least announced for the Windy City Classic. Do you think it'll be just at a more emphasized, like a couple more matches than than we would maybe have seen a couple of years ago?
I don't know. Like whatever comes up, it comes up. If the story's there,
Yeah.
we built up, Sky Blue and Christy James versus the Ricos. That was built up for like 4 months, and we knew we were going to get there. So if the storyline or stories getting to that event or gearing towards that event, yeah, sure. But I'm not going to just go, hey, the show needs 4 women's matches.
Okay.
That's not how we book shows. It just happened to work that way, and I wanted to feature women that weekend as well.
Okay. And yeah, Sky Blue, definitely someone who we're going to touch on once we get into the Windy City Classic questions. I want to, I think 2014, I think, is when Chris, I don't know, I might be speaking wrongfully of you. I started getting a little back into wrestling, really when Sting came back at no Survivor Series. I'm a huge Sting mark. We won't get into that. That's a rabbit hole. Yeah. And then I found you guys on Twitter, I think like 2015 March. That's when I was like, and I've been watching pretty consistently ever since. Yeah. And Matt Fitchett, I saw, that was the first show I went to, was Matt Fitchett versus Drew Gulak to kick off the show.
That was the anniversary show, right?
Yes, it was Mick Foley was your like special feature, and
he was at the local Comic Con
or Wizard World, something like that. Yeah,
and he contacted us he goes, hey, I'm in town, can you use us? And we're like, hell yeah, and it was cheap. We didn't have to fly him in, we didn't have to do anything, and he was great to work with.
That's awesome.
That was Sami Callihan versus Ricochet at the main event.
Yeah. Another surreal moment. I was like, this guy's Prince Puma. I just like got done watching Lucha Underground. So that opened up the world of the indies for me. And then honestly, like not too much later, Chris and I started doing this podcast. But seeing Matt Fitchett win the JLNT this past was October, was like that honestly, like it hit my heart when that happened, because I literally, the first indie match I've ever watched was him in it, and I love the besties, and I love their character and the way how different they are, the yin and yang, and how they play off of each other. So
it was depressing that Vega couldn't make the weekend.
Very, very. I want to touch on him too, but yeah, I mean, just I guess. I could gush all day about Fitchett, but I wanna ask you what it meant to you, Fitchett winning and like seeing him grow and seeing him go from like singles to tag team titles now to getting a shot at the big gold belt. Like, what did that mean for you?
It meant a lot, because I was really high on Matt in 2012, and I was really low on Vega, to be honest. And he knows that, and I always bust his balls. Davey was always trying to get on, but Davey's always battled with his look. He would get in the mood and put some weight on. His work was never bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he was trying to be something he was not. And Matt, I always like, wow, this guy's got raw talent, where Davey needed to work on his character more, because Davey's turned into a phenomenal worker now. He needed to find who he was, and Matt had the tools, and we tried to push him as the singles early on. I just don't think he truly believed in himself. I don't think he had the confidence to be a singles guy at the time. He needed Vega. He wasn't ready. Matt would have great matches if he was being carried, but when the ball was in Matt's court early on years ago, he wasn't able to have that great match. And to see him over the years just continue to grow, and I'll tell you, he is so underutilized, because he should be under contract to a major organization. And believe me, I don't want him to go.
Yeah.
Matt is great. Believe me, Matt is great. And
I mean, don't say those words. And now that he's the JLMT winner, a lot of these people.
Buddy, I'm used to it. I'm used to it at this point, you know. Believe me when I tell you, I'm used to it. But I wish him the best because both those kids have been grinding for years, and they deserve an opportunity to make a living at pro wrestling because they're really talented guys, both of them. I don't want to put Matt over Vega. It just things have aligned for Matt this year for us.
Yeah.
And
Singles,
I think
he's had breakout matches too.
yeah, like like you just said it perfectly. Like the pairing of these two at that moment when they came together, as a tag team, polar opposites, but it worked.
But guys, who did the polar opposites when they work? And I think a reason why they haven't caught on elsewhere is when we presented them, we still kept Davey as that prick.
Yeah,
You know, annoying bad guy, and he just happens to be best friends with Matt. Matt's a good guy. Matt's fiery, but Matt's not a bad guy. These guys still butt heads. They're like brothers that always bicker and fight. They can fight within each other, but damn it, don't beat up my brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also what was key, and I don't know, I can't recall the story exactly how it went down, but at a gas station, the song played, and I believe Davey had some exchange with you, and basically they were able to run with that song.
What, the Truly Madly Deeply?
Yes.
Yeah, guys, because I used that for 2 years when I first started wrestling. And when you picked that song, I said, absolutely, you know, because I knew exactly what it was. Because again, I used it and it got easy heat. Now at the end, I didn't think it fit who Matt was, but I definitely think they need to move on from that and just be a different style now. But again, the song at the time was perfect for them.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. At that moment, like that song like added an extra layer to that dynamic between them two. And that being said, you know, because I mean, I'm thinking now about their run as how they started, and then we included Scarlett into the mix.
That was great.
Yeah, it was
another layer. So this has a lot of layers, right? And
because Vega was in love with Scarlett, and Matt couldn't understand it, and Vega, and she would run roughshod over Vega, and it would piss Matt off. It was a great dynamic. I loved it.
Right, while being champions also. So
absolutely, yeah, because that's all she cared about. And he was the good guy fighting for the cause. And he was fighting to have that belt to make his girl proud, you know, or to keep the girl.
Right. So, I mean, for many episodes, Charlie and I would say, like, you know, this upcoming show, this is when the besties are going to break up. This is when they're going to go against each other. Something's going to happen in a match.
Yeah, we've been predicting it for years.
Yeah. And, you know, now they've gotten into their separate, you know, paths. Still no, like, you don't see like a you know, direct rivalry between them. They just went their separate ways.
Yeah.
Eventually we, you know, as fans, I'm like, I thought it could have been possible in this tournament. They would go head to head. Could have been.
It might have happened.
This is like a storyline you could do that literally has 4 years of ammunition for you guys. You have 4 years of ammunition for the storyline. Are we going to see this soon? Like,
I don't know. But do you think that you don't think that Vega's going to be pissed off that, like, the whole point of these guys breaking up now is a competition of who's going to get the belt first, who's going to get,
right,
you know, heritage, heavyweight, whatever it may be. It's a competition where I don't need you. I could do better on my own. And you don't think Vega's going to be pissed off and that his buddy, his brother, got success while he was home that weekend?
I think there's some jealousy stirring.
Absolutely. It's an easy one.
Yeah. Especially if Fitchett goes, you know, can get the job done at Windy City Classic. But if that storyline, yeah, the hook is already in my mouth for that storyline. So we're just putting that out there. I just want to point out before we get into the Windy City Classic questions, that you used Truly Madly Deeply for Heat, and it was the most over song for a face, if you want to call them a face team, half face.
Yeah.
That's so funny how it was so used in different ways.
Well, and when I used it, it was 98, 99, 2000. Remember, like, all my friends or guys my age at the time, they weren't listening to Truly Madly Deeply. So when you go out there, and I was wearing a pink boa and a pink outfit, and the guys in the crowd would boo the hell out of me. I have no idea how it worked for them, like how the hell they didn't get booed out of the building, because that song is terrible. I mean, it's fine, it's catchy. Believe me, you remember it.
Yeah.
It's nothing. I'm going to see that guy, and I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I want to see him win.
It's good. That's the evolution, I guess. Crowds are different. Cool. So I'm going to do a little bit of a word vomit right now. But the AAW Windy City Classic 2021, Friday, November 26th, 115 Bourbon Street. Doors open at 6 p.m. Bell at 7. And that's correct, right? I didn't say anything.
Fight starts at 7:30. Our fight pay-per-view.
Okay.
We'll start doing a live matches around 6:45.
Okay. Fight TV 7:30.
Yeah, it's all in that ballpark.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna run through quickly the matches announced and some other talent that's confirmed, and then we can get into some questioning. So for you, the listener, in case follow AAW on Twitter, obviously. Go to
Pro.
AAWpro.com. AAW Pro on Twitter, AAWpro.com, or AAWrestling.com. I think both of those work.
Yeah, everything on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook is AAW Pro. Our website is a damn mess, but that's AAWrestling.com. But that's one thing we need to take care of. But everything else is hitting on all cylinders.
There you go. So in case you've missed all these photos, if you're not following yet, please go follow. Singles match between Russ Jones and Larry D. The ladder match, a lot of people in this. Storm Grayson, Gringo Loco, Josh C., Jake Lander, Davey Vega, we just talked about, Ren Jones, and Braden Lee.
Shaft is in it too.
Okay, Shaft. I did not.
There's 8 of them. There's 8 of them.
Okay. Jam-packed. And that's not for anything, right? That's just, hey, let's throw a ladder and see what happens.
No. I don't book that way.
Right. Sorry. I didn't mean to.
The winner gets to pick whatever title match they want.
Okay, cool. Thank you for confirming that.
No worries.
Is this the first ladder match in at Bourbon Street?
No, we've done it before. We haven't done it in quite a long time.
Okay.
It's very hard to get something hung up in the banners up there.
And that was my next question. What are they reaching for?
We'll probably have a clipboard with a contract.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a contract for whatever title you want.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So the stars are aligning in my head. Davey Vega gets a contract for a title shot.
Oh my God.
Matt Fitchett. You hate this. How much do you hate? How much are you just like, these idiots are just trying to fantasy book right now? Is that what's going through your head or not?
Guys, that's what I've done for 45 years or whatever, since I can remember. And let me show you something real quick. I just picked this up.
Okay. If you're watching on YouTube.
Survivor Series 87.
Wow.
Guys, I've always been nitpicking on why I wish they would have did that, this way or did that. I remember watching that event live, and that's what wrestling is. That's why you get that. And again, by just watching matches, you don't get to fantasy book or I'm like, oh, I want to see it go that way. That's not what wrestling is. It's, man, I hope that story goes that way and I want to follow along.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. We always say that too. When we get too smarky on this podcast, I promise you that we always say, even if it doesn't go your way, try to enjoy the story over the story that they're telling you.
I want
to emphasize that, because we're not your Smarky Smartcast, we can get a little bit just because we want to see a feud between the two guys we just talked about. But Silas Young versus Manders.
Yeah, that's because Mance Warner got hurt. It was supposed to be Mance Warner versus Silas, but he interfered in Manders' match. So
yes, he did.
It's an easy fill-in.
Exactly.
Get well soon too, Mance.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Him and Danhausen broke their ankle like the same night or something weird like that.
Yeah, same show.
Same show.
Cursed. Imagine if you were the promoter that night, huh?
It's funny. Danhausen always speaks of curses, and I feel like that's a very cursed thing to happen to two guys. Number one contenders match for the AAW Women's Championship: Charlie Evans, Christy Janes, Lady Frost, and Sierra. Which is really cool to see Charlie Evans over here from Australia and getting booked. And she deserves it. Bourbon Street Fight, Ace Austin, and Bourbon Street Fight tag team match. Ace Austin and Myron Reed versus Hakeem Zayn and Karam. AAW Women's Championship match, Allison Kay versus Sky Blue. When I come back to this one in a second. And then there's other talent confirmed: Rich Swann, Josh Alexander, Alex Zane, and obviously your championship match, Matt Fitchett versus Fred Yehi.
We have more too. We have Ace Perry, Hammerstone, Ace Perry, Jake Something, Dante Leon, the Ricos. We have more talent.
Okay, great.
We're not done. We're not done announcing.
Yeah, we're recording this on 10 days from now. So there's probably going to be some more announcements, and obviously we'll push it within those 10 days.
Like tonight, we're going to announce a 4-way between Alex Zane, Rich Swann, Josh Alexander, and a mystery opponent.
Ooh. Oh, well, I know there was just we feel for those people. I know there was just a lot of people that were released from NXT.
There's a whole lot of people released everywhere.
Yeah.
NXT, WWE, Ring of Honor, or wherever. Everybody, it feels like these past 90 days, there's a lot of new talent out there that are available. Definitely.
And some have wrestled for you guys already. So you're familiar with them. Cool. Did you know, Windy, Chris put this on the agenda, Windy City fun fact, this is the 16th Windy City Classic?
Correct.
Oh, you knew that. You had that one?
You're talking to me?
I don't know. I thought we'd still maybe.
What do you mean? I own the company. No. Wait a minute. Actually, no. I looked it up this morning.
Oh, okay. Did you? Okay.
Yeah, just to confirm. I don't want to look like an ass if I'm like, oh no, it's 15.
Well, the breakdown is 9 of them have been at the Bourbon Eagles Club, 5 of them have been at Bourbon Street, and 2 of them have been at Logan Square Auditorium.
Yeah. The first one was in 2005.
Yep.
I didn't even own the company at that point. I was booking for the guy who owned it previous to me was Tony Scarpone, a local wrestler out here that owned his own company as well.
Right.
But I was booking for him for about a half a year, and I came up with the name, the concept, and everything like that. So I just kept that going.
Great. And this is if fans aren't familiar, this is really your blow off WrestleMania end of year style show, right? Is that incorrect or correct to say?
Correct. Yeah. A lot of feuds lead up to this event. Again, this year has been we're just coming back from COVID, obviously, but we're doing our best. But yeah, that's always the intention, is to get to the classic and let things blow off and start new programs there.
Okay. I want to, I know this is not his debut for you, I don't think, but I want to touch on Storm Grayson and his opportunity. What do you see in him? And I know I think you've maybe brought him back a couple times. You can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but why is Storm Grayson in the mix?
Storm is a good kid, man. He comes, he helps out all the time. He's polite. He's eager to learn, eager to get better. Guys, I didn't know this, but he's been around since 2014. I had no idea. I'm like, I just heard your name like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And he might have came around to help earlier, and he told me, he goes, I took a lot of bad advice early on, but I mean, look at him. He's young, he's good looking, he looks like a star, he's athletic, and again, he's always getting better and willing to learn. And there's no doubt in my mind that kid's he's gonna be under contract to somebody in the next couple years. No doubt in my mind.
That's an awesome compliment. Yeah, I think you could, because we watch a lot of local promotions. We cover a lot of local promotions. I think you can make a case. I've been pushing this a little bit. I think you can make a case for him being in the running for like most improved this past year.
I think so, guys. He needed the opportunity, and COVID is perfect for him. I know a different group that runs in the area, Freelance. They're not really flying anybody in anymore. It's mostly their students, and that gives a great opportunity for younger guys to have longer matches. And so it's perfect for him. And same thing with us. We can't afford so many fly-ins, so we have open spots, and we're also doing the Alive series on YouTube.
Right.
It was on Twitch, now it's on YouTube. So we're giving a lot of younger talent opportunities to grow, to cut promos, to learn, to run little programs or rivalries, just to get their name out there and just to help them along. And little things like that have really helped him out, just to get his name out and improve.
Yeah.
Another kid that just worked for us last month was Trevor Outlaw, a young kid. He's only been around for a year or two.
Yep.
But he's got a ton of potential as well. And we've used Damian Chambers a lot, and we're really high on Damian Chambers, a good kid, or Isaiah Moore and Jason Hotch and other kids like the Ricos. They got their start on the Live. I saw them at a local galley show, and they annoyed the hell out of me. I said, these guys are perfect. And that's the trick. If they can make you react in a way either that I like them or I want to punch them in the face, they've triggered something. They've triggered emotion, and that's what you're looking for out of an athlete.
Right.
And Alive and a lot of the local shows, they're giving a lot of new talent an opportunity.
Yeah. Speaking of wanting to punch someone in the face, I would never do this to this man, but he is a guy who will elicit that emotion from you. Is Hakeem Zayn. I feel like he's been your rock in that mid card. If you want to call Heritage a mid card, it can feel like your Intercontinental title.
That's the goal of it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
When things were getting a little shaky, like he was kind of the glue that brought everything back together. I think
he's another hungry guy, man. He was around for a very long time before he got his break, and even when he did get his break, he's typecast in a certain role that I don't think really features his strengths. We don't typecast him in that role. We typecast him as an angry, bitter, talented professional wrestler. That's what we're going for. And his muscle behind him is Carm, who's another young kid who's been around for 2 to 3 years, and together they're a hell of a package, man. It's the hustle and the muscle, because Hakeem he's been hustling for years, and we never wanted to call him what's his Impact name? Raju?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't see the appeal in that character. I really didn't. I think the business has evolved. Don't get me wrong. There's guys that are limited that need that character to get over. I firmly believe that when somebody's all character and limited in the ring, perfect. Go ahead, do that character.
Right.
But Hakeem can go and he can cut a promo better than most. And he's filled with emotion, filled with anger, and it comes through. And I always saw that, and we gave him the opportunity, gave him the ball to, here you go, man, go piss people off. And he ran with it. He's amazing at it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So he's been, I feel like, really very rock solid. I feel like also because you over this year we talked about it, and I feel like you guys have been building like I said, building a roster, but a new core has emerged. Like these
You
are the
have
people.
to.
Yeah, these are the people we're going to put on our posters. The women's side, Allison Kay, I feel like has been that rock, that core, that
Yeah.
very, very consistent performer. And then Sky Blue has been the new up and comer. What can we expect out of these two in their match? I feel like it's going to be a good one.
Hopefully they kick ass. Hopefully it's a good one. I have faith in them. Again, Allison Kay's been around for a long time. She's legitimate. I call her, like, when I watch her, I'm like, she's a pro. She's a pro. I just watched her promo, one of her promos today. And if you cut a promo, guys, and you just bury your opponent, and then you beat your opponent, who have you beat? Nobody. But she can cut a promo and really build up her opponent, and then going, yeah, you're great, but I'm a lot better, and you don't compare to me. She's a pro. She can get the match over, get herself over, get the opponent over. That's what makes her stand out, and she's got a great presence. As far as Sky Blue, Sky's young. She's so young. I came across Sky last year because I was looking at a group's YouTube page, and Sky Blue's matches had 25 million views. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? I had no idea who she was. She didn't work any of the local shows. Nobody knew who she was. And I reached out to that promoter, and he goes, oh, no, she's bad news. So I ended up booking her for the COVID shows that we had, 25 fans for, and nobody knew who she was. And she took off right after that, man. And she's just been getting better every month. And look at her now. She's under contract. I knew it. I knew it a year ago. I'm like, she's too young, too pretty, too talented. She's not going to be around long.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for her opportunity. Yeah, like I said, Allison Kay, like that's a great way to describe her. Pro. She's just solid.
Yeah.
So Fred, I wanted you to comment on Fred Yehai's title run. Like what has he brought to AAW with his title run and with his performances? I like his promo. It's a little bit more soft spoken. He doesn't need to yell. Feels like he's got that anger. Like what has he brought to AAW?
Have you ever seen? Did you guys happen to watch Fred Yehai before AAW?
I don't think I've seen him outside.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
Fred Yehai before AAW was just a grappler. He was just a guy that can go out there and have good matches. AAW didn't do anything to help Fred be a better pro wrestler, other than giving him an opportunity to be the main guy. And with that is also giving you an opportunity to really dive into your promos, dive into your character. Who are you? Just talking to him, he had an idea of what he wanted. We had an idea of what we wanted, and we came together on this character where it's the savage weight, where he's a perfect gentleman outside of the ring when he talks, when he does his promos. Perfect gentleman, nice man, mild-mannered, but when he gets in the ring, something triggers him, and he's an animal. He's a savage. It's perfect. It's like the American Psycho. That's exactly my thought of him. It's just he's mild-mannered until something triggers him, and then he's a beast. And he's legitimate. Watch him wrestle. Watch the guys after they have the match with him. They come back, and guys, you can say whatever you want about what pro wrestling is. You can call it entertainment. You can call it whatever. His opponents, after they get done wrestling Fred Yehai, I bet everything in my pocket right now that they're like, that is goddamn real.
Yeah.
Because Fred brings it. I saw Gringo Loco and Paco and Silas Young come through that curtain, and they were all like, holy shit. Fred is a machine.
That's great. He does have an amazing nickname.
He's legitimate. Yeah. He's legitimate.
Oh wait, I heard you say a name. Where's Paco at, man? Paco is a fan favorite of ours. If you follow this podcast, you know that we've
been hashtagging push Paco.
We've been hashtagging push Paco. You guys gave him the belt for a month and then you stripped it away. What the heck?
Well, guys, why Paco's not on the shows currently right now is he has a job right now because of how everything shaked out with COVID.
Yeah,
A lot of people had to get regular jobs to pay their bills, and
right.
it is what it is. And right now he has a job that it's very difficult for him to do shows that are far away or Fridays or Thursdays. And he was able to do I forgot, but I let him know the date in advance and he was able to take the day off, but it's very hard for him to take the day off.
That's great.
Well, Paco was a great underdog story. Everybody loves the underdog.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's a fan favorite of ours. I just had to throw that one in there because I heard you mention his name. That was
I loved him, guys. I mean, he's been around forever.
Yeah. I all the matches that we described, I think have the ability to steal the show. And I don't know if your answer to this question might just be no comment, but do you have like a potential show stealer that you think out of all the matches that we described?
I think in different ways. I think in different ways the emotion of the women's match and the heavyweight title match is going to be something special.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be different than the ladder match, which is going to be more of a spectacle, watching, big spots and, or the 3-way or 4-way that, again, we're announcing tonight. That's going to be amazing. But watching Larry D and Russ Jones just maul each other, I'm hoping that every match is different, and it has been a challenge to try to do that. Like, I'm the biggest critic of my own shows. I truly am.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell my partners, my team, that we have to get better. We can always get better because sometimes there'll be too many matches that are grappling, too many matches that are, high spot matches. You want to have everything a little bit different. So I'm hoping the main event with the emotion of Fitchett's, trying to win the belt, or Sky Blue trying to win the belt. I hope that's good. Or the Bourbon Street fight, which is always great. Or the women's 4-ways. If you've seen Christy James, I mean, she's nuts lately. She's been brawling all over the buildings. And the newcomers with Lady Frost and, Charlie Evans. So I don't know. I'm hoping that everybody brings their A game, and I want to be able to give everybody an opportunity to steal the show. So no comment.
Would you say so? Really, I guess you could say the gimmick of our podcast, or like our tagline, so to speak, of this podcast is that wrestling is a buffet. So is that kind of what you're going for? Like, there's a little bit of there's something that someone can sink their teeth into a little bit.
No.
Okay,
that's not how I would say wrestling is a concert. Wrestling is a roller coaster. That to me is what going to a show is. A roller coaster is up and down, hills and peaks. That's what you want. You don't want it. A buffet is just shoveling it all in. And I don't want that. That's not what you get emotion. I could see where the buffet, meaning you get a variety of everything. I see where you're going with that. But to me, my analogy is always a concert where it's a couple songs, you don't know other songs, but you're still going up and down in your emotions on on how you react to things. That's my analogy of it, is either a roller coaster or a concert. But I do see the buffet where you can get a little bit of everything.
Yeah, no, I like that. And then at the end, the band that you're seeing usually plays their top 3 hits, and then there's an encore, and it usually ends in a big crescendo.
Here's my thing with the buffet now. Now I'm picking it apart. At a buffet, what do you normally end it with?
Dessert.
But is that truly the main event? Is the main event dessert? No, the main event is your steak, right?
I guess. Yeah, I guess it's what's at the buffet line. That's a good point.
Yeah, and you're going to, like, a concert. A perfect analogy would be the final song of the concert with the encore is one of their main songs. That's why I think concert is better analogy. Not to knock yours off, but
No. What if you're at a concert? What if you're at a concert and you go into the food truck tent and there's a buffet there? There you go.
Wrestling in general is a buffet. There's all these things, but ultimately the experience at a wrestling show definitely takes you through a ride of emotions. So I get that.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, guys, I wanna talk about something real quick.
Okay.
Yes, the new age is streaming, but there's nothing beats the live experience of going to a show.
Mm-hmm.
You could sit on your couch and
agree.
watch something, but you're going to be looking at your phone. You're going to be like, oh, I'm going to go to the bathroom. Oh, I need a sandwich. Oh, somebody's talking to me. But being there live and being a part of the energy of the crowd, there's nothing like a pro wrestling show. Attending it live and just the atmosphere, the emotion, the passion. You can't beat it by ordering it on. Believe me, please, I want people to order it on Fight TV or watch it on High Spots. But man, if you can go to a live show in your area, don't miss out, because there's nothing like it.
It's a fantastic point. I think all the venues you guys usually run at have their own like really good features and qualities about it. But I'm staring at a poster right now. Homecoming, March 17th, 2017. Low Key versus Sammy in the main, I think it was, when he was wearing the suit, Low Key. And I remember they're really in the Berwyn Eagles Club is my favorite venue. I know that's not where the Wednesday Classic is at, but it has this charm to it. Yeah,
I love it.
It's got this charm, and when that place is like jam-packed tight and you're around people you love, and just like the buzz in that building. I remember before that show, it had one of my favorite matches was DJ Z versus Drew Galloway on it. One of my personal favorites. There is not a feeling there might be feelings that are similar to it, but there's not a feeling exactly like that. So, and I know that's what you're going for. So I felt it, and I agree with your sentiment. It's
magical. And when you see like really good performers or a really great storyline come together, there's nothing else like it.
Exactly.
Great. So talking about those, just as we're coming close to the end here, I want you to, I don't know if it's a hard spot for you here, Danny, but can you tell us at least like memorable, like top 3 memorable matches? I'm not even gonna say best matches, but that you can say like, holy shit, this was the Windy City Classic.
In the Windy City my favorite is obviously it hits home. It's because 2 of my students was the barbed wire match between Merrick Brave and Tyler Black. That was amazing. 2 of my kids,
that was 2006.
Yes, it filled the Berwyn Eagles Club. It filled it at that time to like 320, which was amazing at that time. When we got cooking, believe me, I was putting in more than 400 people in there every month. But that was amazing to see my students main event, draw a great house.
Yeah,
really a whole year of storylines built to that, and it really paid off. Another one, which is probably my favorite event of all time, would be the first time we went to Logan Square, which was the Windy City Classic. 2015, the debuts of Pentagon and Phoenix.
That's the yellow poster you got back there, if I'm not mistaken.
So the first music to come out through the curtain was Tommaso Ciampa, and him and Phoenix opened the show, and they tore the house down, and that place was rocking. And we had Pentagon versus
like Ciampa broke his nose or something.
Yeah, Ciampa broke his nose, and he had to catch a flight. Because he had to be the opener because he was going to the UK, so he had to catch a flight like midway through the show. And I remember his wife was there, and his wife was concerned, but he was on cloud 9. He loved it because he just wasn't getting a good opportunity at Ring of Honor at the time, and we gave him the ball to roll with. And that night was, it was again, Pentagon versus Hero was amazing. We had Eddie Kingston won the belt that night, and Sami Callihan, who just left WWE 5 days prior, he came back, and he was a surprise, and the place went nuts. It was just It was a great night. I mean, just a great night. Those two stand out more than anything.
Yeah.
We had the Kevin Steen surprise title win in 2013, which was amazing. We had another one, which was Sammy Callahan and Brody Lee in a cage. We built this up for 7 months. This was 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And WWE announced that they were in town. They went head to head with us, and they were at the United Center. We didn't beat them, but they drew really bad. They drew like 3,200, and we drew 800 that night, and that was 20 minutes apart. And I remember texting a couple friends and like, "Oh shit, we almost beat you at the door," you know. And that really made me proud that we could draw 800 against WWE that night, and they only drew 3,200.
Brody Lee wrestled with his jaw wired shut.
Yeah,
right. That was that match.
He sure did. Yeah.
Damn. Lots of. Did Ciampa get on the plane and fly with a broken nose? Did he get any treatment anywhere?
Just in the locker room. Yeah.
Damn. That's a
no Nurse Nicole at that point.
No, she wasn't. She might have been coming as a fan, but she wasn't Nurse Nicole yet.
Right.
Yeah. Man, a lot of great memories and more to come.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Chris, do you have any other things before we wrap this up?
No, I was just like kind of scrolling away from like this history log of like main events at the Windy City Classic, and I'm like, holy shit, Ray Phoenix versus Jeff Cobb, 2017.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's like like there's many great matches here, and I mean I'm looking forward.
Guys, we had a lot. Like even right before COVID hit, it was supposed to be Jacob Fatu versus Josh Alexander for the belt. And I remember Jacob Fatu he canceled on us last minute, and Mance Warner, he won the belt, and he wasn't even advertised for the main event, and he won the belt, and all the fans came in the ring, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that's a really cool photo of all the fans at the end of that. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
We've had a lot of good memories.
It was a great run for him as well.
It was hell of a run. Yeah, hell of a run.
Yeah.
He connects with the people. He really does, more than I think a lot of people don't get that. They're just out there trying to have a good match, where he really does connect with the people, and he makes them. It's like, I'm performing for you. I'm fighting for you. You know, you guys are my crowd. This is why I do it. And it comes across well.
Absolutely. Well, Chris is an official AAW historian now, I think. He's been anointed. But yeah, like I said, November 26th at Bourbon Street.
Yep.
And AAW Pro on all socials. And anything else you want to promote, or you have the floor, Danny, to say any final words?
Just to follow us, hit our subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and AEW doesn't make it without the fans. We need your support. We don't have any $1 million money backers behind us. There's a lot of indie groups that say that, hey, this is independent, but they got a lot of people financing them. We don't have anybody financing us. The only way we continue is by having fan support, and we're going to give you everything and more to make you feel like you got your money's worth. So please follow us. Please, buy a ticket, buy a pay-per-view, whatever you guys can do. Just, keep it going. Without the fan support, there is no AAW. I just wanted to thank them, and, follow us on AAW Pro. Again, November 26th, 115 Bourbon Street in Marinette Park, Illinois.
Mm-hmm. And as Danny said, nothing beats that experience of a live show.
Nothing.
Like, you definitely get your money's worth. I mean, 100%. But if things come up, Fight TV is always there. That's your way of supporting, right? Like, you get to watch it. Yeah, hit pause, go get your sandwich, come back, hit play, and enjoy the show. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Charlie, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what you doing that day? Are you gonna go?
Well, I gotta check my calendar. I'm pretty sure I'm free. That's
Charlie. What are you talking about? I gotta check my calendar. It's a week away.
Well, I gotta. I'll be coming back from a trip, so I'll be. No, I'm joking. I gotta.
You act like you're somebody asks you on a date or something. Oh, I gotta wash my hair or something like. I gotta check my calendar.
I'm fairly confident I'm free. If I can't make it for sure, I'll see you.
I promise you guys, you won't be disappointed. I promise you guys.
Definitely.
I'm sure of that. So yeah, Modelo's on me, Charlie. Let's make it happen.
All right. Chris, where can you find the rest of our episodes?
Yes. Well, social handles, first of all, 2 Heels in a Face, 2 Heels in a Face. That's number 2 Heels in a Face, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us, find all our episodes everywhere podcasts are available, but you can also visit our site, 2heelsintheface.com. And outside of that, just make sure, you still hashtag push Paco.
Yeah, let's bring that back. Hashtag push Paco, and let's get the movement
guys,
going again.
Guys, call his employer. There's nothing I can do.
All right. Hey, Danny, thanks for joining us. We appreciate the time, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care.
All right, later, boys.